after months, the Dragon Ball Super manga will finally be returning this December, and looks like we have some pretty strong implications with regards to the story from here on out. I'll just say it like it is. Next up, we have a time skip, after which Goten and Trunks will be getting their own exclusive arc, so it looks like the memes finally paid off. This arc is supposedly a prequel to the superhero movie if we're talking about things chronologically, I guess. DBS Hype on Twitter is the source for this information, and as y'all know, he only ever reveals the truth, so make sure y'all go give the homie a follow. I have the link to his Twitter down below in the description box. Now, so far, all we know is this little snippet right now. We don't know what happened to Black Frieza. We don't know how long is this time skip before the Goten and Trunks arc. And we also don't know about the strongest warrior in the universe, whom the Oracle Fish and Whis have been kind of, teasing us about. We'll talk about some of that in this video, but what I really want to focus on is the future of both the Dragon Ball anime and the manga. How this development is going to play out, especially when it comes to the Dragon Ball anime and everything in between. So before we get started, if you guys have been enjoying the Dragon Ball and anime content so far, be sure to leave a like on this video, and don't forget to click the notification bell down below to never miss an upload as soon as they go live. But without further ado, so for starters, and I'm sure y'all must have figured this out by now as well, we'll definitely get an adaptation of the Broly movie in the anime. There's no other way to kind of go about that. Broly is canon now, and Toei knows how to make that money, and so whenever the anime does return, it'll be starting with the Broly arc. Now, if we can get some of that screenplay which was edited out because of the short duration of the movie, that would be kind of crazy, right? For the sake of context, what Toriyama initially came up with for the Broly movie was around 3.5 hours worth of content. Of course, around 40% of that was cut out because anime movies aren't supposed to be that long, but what if that is also adapted when we get to the Broly arc in the anime? From what I've heard, it wasn't anything monumental, just some kind of Saiyan flashbacks and things like that. Another thing to note here is how a movie production takes years and the screenplay is the initial process. Now, this part is highly speculatory, but what if Ultra Instinct wasn't a concept back when the screenplay received the green light and the next stage of the production began? Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, though I could be mistaken about that. But similarly, while the superhero film may have only come out this year, its planning initially started all the way back in 2017. The final draft was produced in 2019, and then the next stage of the production process began, and here we are with the final product today. Well, that's just how it goes when it comes to movies, but this also means that the movies have a stark disconnect when it comes to ongoing manga storylines. That's why it only seems like a sequel to the Broly movie and not a sequel to the exact manga storyline, if that makes sense. I'm sure when the anime resells the Broly movie, they'll do some changes and revise a little, as was the case with Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F. And since the manga is now planning on filling in the gaps when it comes to the chronological order of events by introducing a prequel story, we can also expect that at some point in the next few years, the superhero movie arc is also going to get adapted and Beast Gohan will feel so much more gradual. We've already talked about some of these ideas in previous videos, but with these new leaks, it seems everything is finally coming together like we always knew it would. Any inconsistencies we're worried about can easily be resolved during the retelling in the anime, but I do wonder about how they'll handle the change in animation style if this is really how things are going to play out. By the way, also, after the prequel arc in the manga, we'll just jump straight into after the superhero arc. Meaning the manga won't be covering the events of the superhero arc, although it may hint or recontextualize something, but it won't be a standalone. Either way, I definitely feel as if this is a good thing that's happening since both the Broly movie and the superhero movies are canon. All the more reason for them to fit in the chronological order of events. Plus, Goten and Trunks are gonna get some shine as well. Hopefully they get individual focus instead of, once again fusing their way to victory with Gotenks. The arc will probably be only a few months long since Goten and Trunks are technically not protagonists of the actual Dragon Ball storyline. And then comes the question about the time skip and all that Black Frieza stuff that I guess is out of the window for a few more months while we wait. Well, actually, I think there's a 3-year gap between where we are in the story right now and the events of the superhero arc. Also, don't forget guys, the end of Z, where the World Martial Arts Tournament takes place, it's around less than a year after the events of the superhero arc, and so that means whatever storyline we have after the superhero movie arc will be catapulting us beyond the end of Z, or maybe that martial arts tournament is also retold. Anyways, since this prequel arc will be happening before the superhero events, the time skip will be around 2 to 3 years. It's hard to believe Frieza would just be sitting around with his new form for this amount of time, just minding his own business, but I guess there are ways this can be explained, but Frieza's new form just being irrelevant after the superhero saga would be kind of a buzzkill, and I don't think anybody would like that. And we still aren't sure about who the strongest warrior in the universe is yet. Hopefully this is also eventually leading to something big as well. All I hope is that no fights get off screen, and the story shouldn't completely cut away from the Black Frieza stuff either. Flashbacks are one way to go about it, but it shouldn't just completely disappear until 2024. Since Beast Gohan is going to happen in the future of this new storyline, some foundation during the prequel arc would go a long way as well. It's not like the idea of Gohan obtaining a new ultimate form was like unforeseen by anybody. I also wonder if Broly will soon get something like an evolved form of his Wrath state, maybe something like Wrath Instinct, or maybe he even just perfects his Super Saiyan form, alluding to the idea that he's learned to be mindful with his anger issues. For Goten and Trunks though, I doubt it will be a very long arc. The intention of this prequel may very well just to give us strong foundation for the events of the superhero movie. There's no reason to believe that stuff wasn't cut out of the movie just like how it was from the Broly movie, and in the end it is all for the sake of placing things in the right chronological order, and that makes sense. Plus, considering how Goten and Trunks are wearing superhero costumes, the extent of any threat they can and will face is gonna be limited to Earth. Oob wasn't in the superhero movie, but he could be there in the prequel and then in the retelling of the movie. Ordinarily, I'd discard any hopes of him gaining spotlight until that World Martial Arts Tournament and End of Z, but the moral arc was pretty bold with Oob, and so right now, there are no limits to what we can expect from Oob going forward. All in all, I will always think it's a great thing when other heroes besides Goku and Vegeta are getting some screen time. Oob is kind of a fan favorite, and I really hope that Dragon Ball, whether it be Super, whatever this new anime is, the manga in the future, will just continue doing things like this. But of course, we'll always come back to our two favorite Saiyan heroes, Goku and Vegeta, when things really get into crunch time. Thank you all so much for watching until the end. That is all we have for today. We do have another video coming up about the new anime coming next month soon, so make sure you guys have your notifications on for that. But be sure to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and also don't forget to go follow DBS Hype over on Twitter for providing all of this Dragon Ball information to us. Be safe, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.